Right, today I'm going to be tackling this. Came with a new bulkhead trim which has the plugs in, so just having a look at what goes back down the back of there. So the ECU is going to disappear down the back of there, but with these plugs being here, I'll just plug the old engine harness in with the standard bracket that holds the fuse box and the standard ECU next to it there. It was clashing on like half covering these holes, so I was having a look and having a think about the best way around it. The ECU doesn't seem to have much wire in here to be able to move it, sorry, the fuse box, so I've opted for hacking at that. So I've managed to, let me put that down, chop a fair bit out the back here off this section, so that I can basically twist the fuse box to what it was, and I've took the old clip off that was over here that's been cut off and managed to salvage a bit here to stand it on, to be able to move it over, which then gives me clearance for here. So what I'm going to do now is just going to bolt that cradle back on with the 3 nuts it was on, bolt the fuse box, or screw the fuse box back to it, just to see how that looks, and make sure I'm clearing plugs down here so that everything can look nice and neat in this corner. And then I'll have to work out in here how I'm going to fit this and a battery and everything in. There's some comms that come from this for writing it, so I want to try and stick them through here so that I've got them in the cabin for like when you want to log and all that kind of stuff. So should be good fun. So next thing you'll see is all this screwed in, and there it is. So all plugs nicely down there, fuse box a slight angle. We'll see what happens with this where the standard ECU will click in, because I think the as we stand back here, the air filter will come up and up there, so we'll see, because I'm sure that will evolve as we go on. Right, what's happening there? So we have more wiring. So this one here says ECU comms. This one here is lambda. That there says aim dash CAN bus, but I haven't got an aim dash, so that's just going to be surplus and he's blanking off. And then that runs off to this, which can go through into the cabin so that it can be plugged in. So we'll work out getting those through the bulkhead, and then there's all this to try and work out as to different ways of getting the turbo working. Right then, I've managed to get the ECU comms cable to come through in there with the standard loom, which then gives me more comms here, which I'm thinking can probably come through something here. It'll be looking nice and neat. Right, excuse the moustache. Just messing around when I was shaving this morning. It's coming off, trust me. This tall over there. Don't like the vibes. It's about as far as I can go with the wiring, I think. So we are ECU comms bit through, all that's there, looks nice and neat. I think other bits that plug in elsewhere will become apparent when we start putting the engine in, needing to plug things into places. But I think it probably will be, definitely will be, a call to Jack to say, can you help me? But hopefully video call. So yeah, so I'm kind of thinking now, marry the gearbox up to the engine possibly, and put the starter motor and that in. I can't see too many reasons why I can't then pop it back in. even though the subframe's not back, because a friend of mine pointed out that it might actually be easier getting the drive shafts in without the subframe in the way. So we can but just give it a go. Right then, I think I'm going to try and put that back in there. Employed my step from the caravan, so let's see how this goes. Oop. Right, step worked. Bit of up and down on the grain there to sort of get it to line up, but then yeah, sat behind it and managed to meet it. So I'm just going to nip the bolts up now, and we've got an engine and gearbox together. Right then, we've connected a few bits up here now, so it's all pretty much looking pretty much right together at the back. So kind of thinking now, let's try and put it in there. Doing all right so far. Just remembered bought that for it, so drop that on quick, and there you go. Starting to see what it's going to look like in there. Oh, well, that's a pain on your own. It'd be under you better with more hands, but I'm impatient and I like to prove that I can do things. So happy days. Here we go. Decided that I didn't want to go full on cooler works. I like the fact that the car's going to look pretty stock, just being animal. So I opted for the little Helix short shifter extension on the bottom. So I ended up taking the heat shield down with these little nuts that hold the heat shield on. The heat shield's back here somewhere. Yes, I've added that on. This was a pig to get off, but it came off. The cover obviously had to come off to get access to it. The only problem is now with that on, the cover don't bloody fit back on. So I think I'm going to have to leave it off. If anyone knows a way of getting that back on, please let me know, because I'm going to put the heat shield up for a bit. Yeah. Right. And now I've took all the these tunnel bits down from the diffuser there. Just have a look at the rear subframe. I did think I was going to take it down and go and get that blasted and coated as well, but it looks like the fuel tank's attached to it, and I'm not for that at the minute. I think I've got too much on. I've got enough on the go without having to try and remember how the back end comes apart as well. So I think for now I'm just going to get some cure rust and some hammerite and service it so that it looks better, with a view that when I've recovered from the engine swap, I'll have a look at the back end. So there we go. Just to round the engine in bit off. It's in. I started connecting up like the alternator. I've connected fuel down the back of here. Gear linkages and sort of feel of the gear stick. It is nice and short with that Helix shifter extension on. So it's got more things to work out here. So this is an N18 filter housing, so I've got to take off here, which I believe is lubrication, and then that can go into the different high pressure fuel pump. So yeah, now I can sit at this height on my stall and start installing the manifold and turbo when it comes back from Cerakoting. So I hope I'm being informative and vaguely entertaining with this. We keep going. It needs to be on its wheels by the end of October, because I'm going away then, so it needs to be back in the garage. So yeah, see you on the next one. And this awesome thing, designed by Helen Harrison at R56 Group UK. Cheers, Helen.